So it's November the 22nd, 2023. It's Sandringham day 2, and this is my first little photograph. As I'm going towards Sandringham on my bicycle, I had to contend with this. I had to move around traffic lights that don't register when a cyclist go past, which is a bit of a bugbear. And so here, this sign's blocking the pavement. Why the traffic light isn't on a longer pole and the sign is underneath the traffic light on the road, which is normally done, I really don't understand this. Blocking the pathway, that's actually an illegal installation. So that's my start to the morning. And so I was on my way to Sandringham, and my first port of call was a small pond. Now this pond, I don't know if you know that, but around Sandringham there's lots of pipes which keep water levels flowing and keep little creeks going and feed into this pond. Now a lot of these pipes have been messed with since this privatisation has been going on, and this pond is no longer being supplied with water for whatever reason, so now it's all dried up, which it was a massive draw, very healthy pond, lots of kids used to go there and have a look, and I don't know why that's been done away with. Nobody seems to care, nobody seems to want to rectify it. It always used to be nice and, you know, filled with water. Now it's not. So there's the double lodges on Double Lodges Road, just a picture there, and that through that gate you used to be able to walk into the forest. All of the forest behind there used to be open access. Now it wasn't open access all the time. This part of the forest was, I'll call it rabbit woods. All the tracks in there are grass, well they were grass, and the reason why this was kind of, basically the Queen decided that she wouldn't allow access into this part of the forest all the time, because if people walk on these tracks all the time the grass dies and then the rabbits don't have any grass. So what was done is there were certain signs put up in different places, well in all the access points around, just to tell you which days it was open so you could walk in there. It was a kind of, you know, certain days it was open. Now it's completely private, as you can see, private sign there, and you will notice there's no other signage here. This will become apparent soon, but there's no other further signage here, just a private sign there. There's a gate buried in there. It's locked. So where that gate is, you used to be able to go through there. It's part of, this is the opposite side to the rabbit woods. And it always used to be open, you could walk through there. So this road I'm walking along allows cars and bicycles to go down it. It's on the estate, but anyone can drive here. It's in a very poor state of repair. I don't suppose you can see all the dips and bumps. It should be repaired. You know, some of these bumps are horrendous, and I mean it's been like this for years. You know, I mean, I know the roads at the moment are terrible because the Conservatives aren't fixing them. The A10 to King's Lynn is an absolute disgrace. Even just between Downham and King's Lynn, absolute disgrace. The money that's been given to contractors to fix it, no one's fixing it. But this needs fixing. So this is another access point to what I'm calling Rabbit Woods. As you can see, there's a private sign. You used to be able to walk through here, now it's a private sign. No other signage at all, no fencing, you know, no extra special fencing. That will be apparent why that needs to be in place. But so here you can see this is an access point into Rabbit Woods as well. As you can see, there's a sign there saying you can't go in there, but there's no fencing. Now as you can see, there's logging going on in there. They're basically in there cutting down rabbit woods, which, I mean, it's not very nice at all. I mean, but you can see the track there's been churned up. There's a sign there, but there's no barrier. People could just walk in there. When logging's going on, when people are cutting trees down, there has to be a physical barrier. There has to be, I mean, they've got signs here, okay, but as you've seen on those other gates I've just looked at, there was no signs at all. Now this is another gate into the same area. So this gate did have a private sign on it, someone's ripped it off. So I presume I can go in there. As you can see on this picture, the tracks are being churned up, which the rabbits feed on, which the Queen wanted to protect by limiting the amount of time you could spend in the woods here, by having signs up telling you what days you could go in there. So, as you can see, her wishes, her policy, completely disregarded, and chopping down trees and churning up the grass. There's been lots of destruction here of woodland as well. Lots of trees cut down. So when there's logging operations going on, you have to have, the whole area has to be fenced off. There has to be signs up at every single access point, even though there should be locked gates and fences to prevent people walking in there. There should be signs up saying high-vis must be worn at all times, authorised personnel only at every single access point into the forest. This seems a bit strange considering Sandringham is a forest estate and the management are forestry trained. Why they're not keeping an eye on what's happening here, I don't know. It's criminal is what it is. See, look, the tracks being churned up more decimation of healthy forest. I don't think this was the vision the Queen had for this part of the forest, to just go in there, chop loads of trees down and churn the whole place up. Probably displacing the rabbits as well, because they're very scared of all of this activity going on. The large trees being cut down as well. So this gate is a point where you can go out of the forest onto the showgrounds, which are kind of beyond there. You can see some vehicles and bits and bobs there. Again, there's a private sign there, but as you can see, there's no sign warning people who are coming back into the forest, and the gate's wide open. There's forestry work going on in here, and the gate's wide open. Here's another one. I did see one forestry sign on the other side, on the inside of the woodland. This gate is locked, but I mean the actions taken to prevent people going into the forest woefully inadequate all the way around. This is no way to run forestry. Utter devastation in here. I don't know if it looks much on the camera, but I don't think the Queen will like. So this is a place you used to be able to walk as well. You used to be able to walk all the way across this land. There are ways, if you keep walking that direction, you can kind of go towards where the estate manager's office is and that part of Sandringham. Yeah, and obviously you could walk back through that gate in the direction of that arrow, which would take you back to Double Lodges. This used to be quite a regular walk. I've walked through there. You can't walk through there anymore though. Whenever they had things going on at the showgrounds, they'd still allow people to walk through. But for some reason now there's all these private signs up, and there's very dangerous looking cattle grids there, which I can't understand why they're legal in this country. They're so dangerous. I mean, that's not protecting woodland creatures, is it? I mean, that's breaking their legs. I mean, I hate these things. They're absolutely disgusting. And for an estate like Sandringham to have them, I just find it hard to believe. So I just wanted to show you that on this day I was walking through the forest where the logging was going on. I had my high vis on. I kept away from the guys who were working there, but there was no fencing at all. There was no protection from their vehicles. Just a complete and utter disregard for health and safety on the part of the forestry guys there who are working for the estate. I believe they're probably contractors, not working directly for the estate, but yeah, it's still the estate manager's responsibility to keep an eye on what's going on. He's literally a few minutes down the road. I'm not sure why he hasn't come down here and checked that they're not adhering to health and safety rules. This is all grassland. This used to be beautiful grass all the way along there, which the rabbits love. Just another gate there. This is, as you sort of walk further towards West Newton, towards the West Newton sign, just to show you another entrance point to the same part of the woods. No signs, no extra fencing, no warning signs about forestry work going on, no
signs saying high vis must be worn, authorised personnel only, etc, etc. Just no health and safety at all. So I'm now moving towards West Newton, and to the right hand side of me there is a load of new houses that have been built. Lots of new properties that sprung up around the same time that a lot of this privatisation went on, should I say. These are all nice walks. It doesn't say I can't go down there, but I won't go down there. Quite a lot of new houses in here. Just interesting. They look reasonably nice, I suppose. You know. There's a track here you can follow back round. I just wanted to follow it back round and show you this gateway. Another beautiful woodland walk that I have gone down. But look, now it's private. I'm not sure the Queen wanted this, boys. So moving into West Newton territory now. I'm following this direction up to this little road that turns to the right there, and I find these benches. They've been put in by the estate, left to rot. That looks dangerous. It looks like someone sat on that and it's collapsed. The other side doesn't look much better. This hasn't seen any varnish for years. Another case of wanton neglect. So up this road there are some other newer houses as well. Just a quick picture to show you. Again, built around the same sort of time. And now I'm moving up towards Victoria Cottages. That wall looked dangerous. It looked, I don't know, it was completely falling apart. I mean, utter disgrace. Such lovely cottages here, but nobody's fixing the walls. These walls are dangerous. I mean, that one will fall over. I don't know if they've got like animal friends that live with them. You can't really see it, but that's leaning right over. Come and take a look for yourself. The whole thing is leaning right over. Why the estate don't take any interest in this is beyond me. You've just seen that they're doing events here and making a lot of money, but that wall is all leaning that way, about to fall over. The top's falling off. And if you look over here, they hold events here, making millions, I would imagine. So, yeah. So now moving into West Newton proper, we come across these houses. Now that house there used to, where that little extension is there, it used to have a tower on there. But for some reason, I mean, I would imagine that tower was listed, but for some reason the tower's gone, and there's just that brick extension there, which isn't even in keeping with the area. I don't know how that was built there. And on this picture here, you can see a rather ominous looking crack. I don't know if you can see it on the left hand side of the window. I think the cast stone facing is hiding a bigger problem there. That looks dodgy. I would imagine that whoever's renting that has complained to the estate about that crack. It's been there for some time. I've noticed it before. It's been there for years. So West Newton is a lovely village. There's lots of lovely buildings here, lots of lovely houses, which are rented out by the estate. But I am, you know, the outward beauty of it, it seems to be hiding maybe certain problems which are going on here. I'm not so sure that all the houses are being looked after as they should be. They'll show you some other cases of neglect against the properties here, and other things here which were part of the kind of deal of living here, which has kind of been taken away now. This is a bus stop. Nobody's sweeping out the leaves. And this, I believe this used to be a bus stop, but it's not anymore. It looks dangerous. The roof looks dangerous. So I'm just walking past the school now. I just wanted to show you down here another place you used to be able to walk. There's some gates down here, and you can't go through them anymore. You used to be able to walk across the showgrounds. Even when they were putting shows up and down, you could still walk across. There were walks across there, but the estate seemed fit to stop that. I don't know why, because there's lots of lovely places you can walk. And obviously the showground does back onto Rabbit Woods as well.
Do you know what I mean? Look at the state of this gate. Now, it's not going to fall apart or hurt anyone, but it just shows you what's going on here. They're holding events that make millions of pounds. They're cutting loads of trees down.
That gate looked horrendous. Such a beautiful village, but sadly not maintained well by the estate at all.
On this road, there's no space to park. In fact, it would be illegal to park here. But look at the sign. It's a sign of the estate. It says authorised vehicles only. A very dangerous wall. Lots of bricks have gone. Very, very dangerous. That could topple. And look on the other side. A drop. Oof. This pillar's about to fall off, look. This used to be a communal area, look, where people used to come and have fun here. Look at that. And the gate's falling apart. I don't know if you can see from here, but that door isn't in keeping. It's plastic. That sticks out. This sign is substandard. Just got insulation tape on there or something. Barns that keep people in. Well, there's a people trapment area over on the other side. But here, this is a water tower. It looks like they might be renting it out now. But this used to be like a place where people just came to visit. They used to open up to the public. I'm wondering whether the Queen's aware of it. I mean, they call it, what was it, Landmark Trust or something? Is that just another way of privatising things to get money out of it? I mean, this is on the estate as well, isn't it? It makes you wonder why the estate, I mean, they must be making loads of money with all these events and stuff. Why would they need to do that? I mean, I've come here not that many years ago and visited this. Are they renting this out? It says something about respecting people, whatever, I don't know. Oh yeah, there's, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just having a quick look.
On the other side of the road to the water tower, there's a load of barbed wire here. This looks like a sheep's field. I imagine there was cattle, cows. I say bovines, I don't like to say cattle. I imagine there was bovines on there or sheep on there, which seems quite strange that, you know, there would be commercial dead body production on the estate, considering the Queen was a vegetarian. And I saw animals on this field while the Queen was still alive.
I think this might be a trap for horses, this field, but an electric fence in there for horses. Man's second best slave. Private, no public right of way. Used to be able to walk there. This wall needs sorting out, it's got a massive crack. And this is right next to the estate office, which is down there.
So there's a couple of things to say here about this cottage. Firstly, on the roof there's wire, Now, putting wire on roofs like this, on thatched roofs, you can't do it. Birds land on them, they trap their legs, and they die. Last time I came down here to see the estate manager, I actually saw on the roof of this very cottage a bird that had perished, trapped their leg, couldn't get off, and died. Another thing to say about this roof is I cannot believe that this roof is keeping this house watertight. It's so old, the thatch. It's an absolute disgrace. It must be leaking. I mean, I did see the woman as I walked back past this house. I did see that a woman, an older lady who lived there, and I said hi to her. She didn't seem very happy, but this thatched roof, it must be leaking. She must be getting water coming in. It's so beyond needing replacing. It's just unbelievable. More slaves here, trapped and suffering. I don't think the Queen would have liked this.
The general state of disrepair. Another wall that's in crisis, I'd say. All that stone looks like it's about to fall out. The ridges have been knocked sideways. It's erosion and stuff. I don't mind an oldie worldy wall, but stones falling out of there. These could have been fixed up a few years ago, and they wouldn't be in such a bad state now.
Just a couple more pictures of the showground there. They make a lot of money here at Sandringham. They hold country shows. Internationally famous singers come here and sing, gigs and all sorts of events going on here. So I don't see why there's any excuse for not maintaining the buildings and the walls, keeping things safe and keeping people happy. So as I mentioned earlier in this documentary, one day after seeing all of these private signs going up and, having had enough of the fact that all of these areas that you could walk in before were now being fenced off, I went to see the estate manager in his office to ask him why all these areas of the estate were now being fenced off and private signs being put up. And what about the Queen's Walk, and what about these other places where people used to go and frolic and all of these things? And he basically just laughed at me and told me to go away in unpolite terms, shall we say. He didn't seem to be that bothered at all about my questions. He was basically, I don't know, he seemed to be gloating. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I was told to go away, basically. But now he's not in this old estate office anymore, and now he's relocated himself behind a wall. Now, using the special laws that are basically there to protect the Queen and the house itself, Sandringham House itself, now we seem to have the estate manager hiding behind these rules. You can't get to him anymore. You can't ask him about anything. Now, I don't find this that surprising, really, because I would imagine that the people that live on the estate have been complaining about lots of things. I would imagine they've been complaining about the state of repair of benches and bus stops and walls and the dangers inherent with not maintaining things, the gates and everything dilapidated, everything going downhill. And I would imagine they're also upset in Wolverton about the fencing off and loss of their common land areas, which were basically designated by the estate for the people of Wolverton to access and enjoy. Now, all of these pieces of land were always open to the public, but now they've all been fenced off and as you've seen, being used for commercial dead body production. I don't think the Queen would have approved. What's happened to her beach walk? But so you can't go and see the estate manager anymore. You probably have to make an appointment or something.
These bricks need replacing. The top of this wall looks dodgy. It looks like it could potentially fall off. I don't like the look of it. It looks a bit dangerous, potentially. Could be getting dangerous. Oh, and this wall here has got a massive lean on there. That could collapse. Oh, that is dangerous. That isn't good at all. This wall continues to look a bit dodgy all the way down here. It's near this house, and that bit there was the bit I was just at, which is leaning right over like that. I'm not going to go all the way along this wall and look at the whole thing, but this is a bit dodgy here as well. It's not looking great. This stone that faces the wall, look, that looks like it's about to pop out. This whole bit here looks like it could fall out, potentially. And it does look rough all the way along here. I don't know if you can appreciate it by looking at it here on this footage, but if you come and look at it in the, you know, in the flesh as it were, you'll see that it's a bit dodgy. So over here is another area where you used to be able to walk, and guess what, again another private sign. I had to record this wall. It does look dangerous. It looks very bad. You can come and check yourself. It's falling that way, and over the top of it is a big drop. Do you see what I mean? There's a big drop over the top of that, and it looks like it could fall that way. It's leaning. These bus stops used to have lovely oldie worldy signs that you could flip up to say if you were here. Do you see what I mean? So the bus didn't have to look and see. There was a sign that you could put up and down. And they were much nicer than this. And look at all those leaves in there. Someone could trip on those. The last one didn't look as dodgy, but this one, I mean, a child, imagine a child seated on there, just putting their legs down and slipping on those. You can imagine it, can't you? Now it kind of looks nice to have leaves in there, maybe some people might say, but in practicality I think it's dangerous. One child in 1,000 or 1,000,000 slips and hurts themselves. So this is King's Avenue. I think down there is an equestrian centre, a very large equestrian centre with a great big horse. Now, I don't believe keeping horses as slaves is acceptable. I don't like that at all. So yeah, it's not. I don't want to even go down there, to be honest. But I have been down there. I've seen it. You know, there's paddocks with horses trapped and stable yards and all that sort of stuff. I think there's a museum or something down there. But anyway, so you know, I mean, the Queen was a great animal lover. So, you know, and a vegetarian, which makes me wonder why there's sheep everywhere. Now, these gardens here used to be open to the public all the time. All the time you could walk in there and see. It doesn't look like there's been much footfall in there. You can see all of the... In fact, I don't think they've opened up this at all for a long time. And it is locked. That's a shame, because it's nice in there. Oh, and that pillar looks like it's got a crack down the middle. Looks like it's going to potentially fall over. So all the money, millions of pounds they're making here from events and cutting down trees. Every tree's a city, and when you cut trees down, loads of people die. The little insect people and stuff. And birds lose their houses and, you know, all that sort of thing. But yeah, makes you wonder whether the Queen would like that, considering she was a vegetarian and an animal lover. You know, this is her legacy. Sandringham in complete disrepair. I mean, those walls over there don't look too great. They need refacing, need looking at. The gardens that she so loved, in a very bad state. The gates don't look very good either. There's things growing over the top of them. Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, she wouldn't like this at all. The loss of her Queen's Walk to the beach you know, and these things being done in the last 10 years as her health was failing as she got older, it does leave a very sour taste in your mouth. All along this wall there used to be flower boxes. Now you can see certain ferns growing out of the top of the wall. They are in different places, which were planted there intentionally, you know. But there were flower boxes on this wall, you know, built into the wall. And they're all gone. And this wall goes right round that way, back to the main car parks. But yeah, they're all gone. They used to have, you know, there used to be like flowers growing out of the wall. The Queen loved that. So I'm in the forest here showing you the remnants of a wonderful BMX place that used to be here. And these are the remnants of the jump, some of the jumps. You used to be able to ride all around here and down and around. I'm just going to have a quick walk around here and talk to you. Now the Queen allowed this, and it was quite a big thing because they used to come here and ride around here and go off riding around the forest as well. And it was quite a big meet that they held here. I presume that's another remnant of a jump there, but you can't really see much here anymore. I spoke to a guy in the forest once. I think they've done some more clearing up here because there used to be more stuff here. I spoke to a guy in the forest once and he said, yeah, the Queen didn't mind us doing it. But then a couple of years later, he said, the estate stopped us. And they came in here and told us we couldn't do, you know, cycle in here anymore. And that was that. So, I think there used to be, was that like the remnants of a fire pit or something? They used to be allowed to have a fire here or something. Anyway, I'm going to keep looking here and see if I can find. Local lads will remember this place. There used to be jumps and stuff down in here. The estate have been down here and removed them all now. They were here last year. They haven't taken those ramps away though, which shows the evidence of what was happening here. So, yeah, it's hard to see, you know. So here is the evidence of the bike track. Can you see that berm? That berm goes round here like that. You see what I mean? It's built for BMXs to go around. There's a jump here. So they haven't managed to do away with all of it. There's a jump there, another jump there. Obviously it's in a state of disrepair now. It used to be pristine here, as safe as it could be. And the guys who come up here would wear protective equipment and stuff. I have been up here when they've been riding. But yeah, this was another place where they used to sit, right here. That's another little fire area made of stone, and they used to sit on these just to chill out, you know, good lads. You can see there's jumps here. That tree, I don't know what's happened there. There's a tree falling over. There's a jump there. So the Queen was quite happy about this because it was very popular, this place, and there was, like I said, big races going on through the forest. But someone at the estate decided to do away with it. So I don't know why, considering the Queen was quite happy about it. Someone's definitely been here and re-sculpted this landscape, because underneath your foot is crunchy, it never was before, and there's loads of charcoal under there. Charcoal. I'm not sure there should be charcoal under there. It looks like coal. They've put coal under there. How dangerous is that in the summer when it gets really hot? I'm going to take some. I'm going to take this piece. You see where I am? I've just dug some of it up here and here. I'm going to take some of this away. See, look at the piece. And those pieces. It looks like charcoal. That's a tinderbox. That is ridiculous. There's absolutely tons of it. This whole area here, charcoal underneath. And then loads of this moss chucked on top, which isn't even bedded in. It's not bedded in, it's just loose. It's just been thrown over the top. Why have they put charcoal under there? I really don't know. It looks like it could be house coal. I'm not sure. But that. So this is a path. I used to walk this way quite often. It's a nice path. And it just cuts this corner off going down into Dersingham. And lo and behold, a private sign comes up. It's not an old private. I mean, I used to walk here not that many years ago. But now all of a sudden, since the Queen's health was ailing at the end of her life, now it's got a private sign there. I'm going to walk through here anyway because I know this is a path that the Queen would have wanted people to walk down. So I'm just going to walk down it. It goes around this way. I haven't been down here in so long, I can't really remember it very well, but I did used to walk down here quite a lot. But you know what I mean, I've walked all of the walks around Sandringham, lots and lots and lots of paths, and sometimes it's quite a lot to remember. But this is it, this is the way, and it goes down to here, and there's a driveway there to a house over there, which has paddocks around it, where they traps people there, horse people in the paddocks, is what they do. It says the nurseries, but just down that end, I believe there's a private sign there as well. But this was a footpath, you see, and that gate kind of delineates the edge of that property there. But why they've seen fit to put private there, up that end. So now I'm at the road, that way to Dersingham, and this is the other end of that track. I just came out there somewhere. See a private sign. Now this is a footpath here. Not anymore, they've decided that they want it for that property. Now, the estate, I presume, are probably aware of this, but the estate just can't, you know, give away land to people. I mean, look at that fence. Oh my word. That's dangerous. Look at that. I mean, someone's ploughed into that with a car by the looks of it. Why has it been left? That is very dangerous. Can you imagine someone falling on that? Oh my word. So this fence where the horses are, there's electric fence there and barbed wire. Why would you put barbed wire on enclosures for, oh my god. Isn't barbed now I'm in the part of the estate adjacent to Dersingham, which is also part of the estate, although I presume Dersingham are claiming it as theirs now because they keep sending people in here to just destroy stuff for no reason. And I'm about to qualify that, and I'll take you around here and show you what happened here, which is an absolute travesty. More destruction here. And there's no reason to cut this down. No reason. More stuff cut down for no reason. Guys used to come in here last year and previous years and just chop all this out, burn it all, and then drink beer and, you know, that kind of stuff. They'd bring in here we go. They'd bring in these little barriers and do that. Just put corrugated iron down, just burn stuff. Now I'm about to qualify what I mean about this. Loads of this just cut down for no reason. These weren't diseased trees, I guarantee you that, because I know this place. Look at all of this, just chopped off for no reason. There's loads of it. Now there's rhododendrons. They had rhododendrons over here. Now I know there's a lot of rhododendrons in Sandringham, because they were the Queen's favourite. Sandringham in bloom. So yeah, all different colours of rhododendrons visible from the road as you drove through Sandringham. Now a lot of these rhododendrons, areas where they were, where the Queen wanted them to be, were just totally decimated, just destroyed. Loads of trees cut down in here as well. Now they'd probably say they were diseased, but now over here is where the real travesty occurred. There were ancient rhododendrons. Beautiful. They were possibly the most beautiful. I mean, I don't like to compare, but certainly, I mean, look at the devastation here, just all the trees cut down. Certainly some of the most beautiful. Some of this is rhododendron, I think, the younger ones. But the most beautiful rhododendrons you've ever seen, all clumped together, ancient rhododendrons, all like a wall of them, absolutely stunning, beautiful. I even believe that the Queen had loads of rhododendrons planted because she was inspired by this, you see. Now, they were not diseased, they were the Queen's favourite, but they were all destroyed, just all cut down. And they were absolutely stunning, this whole area. Can you see? There was like a wall of it. I don't know if all the roots are here, maybe they dragged some of the roots out, I'm not sure, but I think they did, because it used to be a great big wall of it. And I believe this was even listed as a protected site. I remember it being mentioned. And Sandringham in bloom was the Queen's pride and joy, all these different coloured rhododendron bushes, and she was inspired by this, which is why you see so many rhododendrons in Sandringham now. Not as many now, because they've just been chopped down by the estate. Why they would do that and go against the Queen's legacy, I don't know, her wishes. But look at all of this. Can you believe it? It was absolutely stunning here. It was a place of outstanding natural beauty, which was listed and protected. It's completely gone now. And I did speak to a guy one day here who I believe was from this group of people in Dersingham, the town, you know, like the village council or whatever it was, I don't know. And they were saying they were, you know, just cutting stuff down or whatever they were doing. I mean, I didn't agree with what he was saying. He was just saying, yeah, we've got to cut a load of this down. I'm like, you know, I didn't talk back to him, but I didn't really, you know, because I knew that it had all been healthy, you see. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, one of the most beautiful sights that anyone could see. Certainly, possibly, well, the best example of rhododendrons are probably in this country, you know, ancient ones, like a great big wall of it, quite unique. Europe, yeah, even the world. So I'll leave that one there. I'm on a limited time, I don't want the sun to go down. I've got a couple more. There's a can of deodorant here, I assume that wasn't used to light the fire. I would hope not. I would hope that wasn't part of this, because I mean, as you know, that's highly dangerous. Generally these guys would just leave beer cans scattered everywhere. I can't see any on this occasion. Look, there's the whackers there. Fire whackers, just in case, but they're all covered over with loads of stuff. It's weird. Anyway, so yeah, so they did the same thing over there where I showed you. They were burning the rhododendrons, the beautiful ones over there, with the same method as they did here. And yeah, just chopping them down, getting drunk. I remember going to see the rhododendrons with my girlfriend, and we were talking about the fact that they were protected, you know. So yeah, I don't know how you can justify that. Well, you can't justify it. It's an absolute travesty, like I said. Absolutely disgraceful. Anyway. As you can see, they've just been chopping stuff down in here as well. This is part of the path here. Loads of stuff just been chucked over it, so you can't get through properly. There's paths up that way. There used to be paths up that way, which are now blocked as well. I used to walk that way. Anyway, I don't know why they were blocked up, those paths. It was, you know, it was passable, and it was nice. But anyway, I'm gonna. So, livestock grazing area. Okay. That's what it says. But the Queen was a vegetarian. This is locked. This is part of the footpath. Used to go in here. Natural England. Middlemen, private companies brought in to run this place as a nature reserve. Yeah. A nature reserve. Is it a nature reserve? Natural England, it says. Wild birds and stuff. That's what it says. So it's a nature reserve with barbed wire. There's a barbed wire fence there. Why you'd have a nature reserve with barbed wire, I'm not sure. It kind of defeats the object, doesn't it? Well, that's my take on it. So on here, this is more parts of public access areas, but guess what? There's a sign saying no public access. Well, you know, I've walked here many times. I know where I am. Now, around here, anyway, we'll have a look. So around here, this is all still part of the Queen's estate, you know, the King's estate now. A place to keep cattle that they let out onto the Dursenden Bog at times. So over here there's loads of hay saved here. Now the interesting thing about here is that I came up here, I'm not sure how many years ago now it was, 4 years ago? 5 maybe? And there was a house here. Now I assume it was built illegally, and whoever built it panicked and ran away. So I'm not so sure all the houses that are being built on the estate have been okayed by the Crown, because, well, I say the Crown, it's not the Crown, it's the Queen or the monarch themselves, because this is privately owned by them. Remember, this isn't Crown land, this is privately owned land, so they have to okay everything like that. So there used to be a house right there, it's gone, which is strange. It wasn't in a bad state of repair. Obviously I haven't got pictures of it because I didn't think I'd need to, but I mean, you know, so more barbed wire here. I really don't like barbed wire. Are we sure it's legal to have barbed wire? I'm not sure. Ooh. So there's a possibility of cows coming out of there, breaking loose accidentally, which sometimes happens, and then plummeting to their death over this cliff. You'd think they'd have a fence here. It's just barbed wire, look. You'd think where the cliff is, you'd have a sturdy fence. Do you know what I mean? To make sure that wouldn't happen. Because anyone who's worked with imprisoned slaves before, they don't half like to break out, which is why you very often see their hair ripped against the fences. So yeah. Anyway, so I've just walked from that place where the cliff is, just down this hill here, walked up here. There's another sign, no public access. This always used to be public access. The signs went up so many years ago. I don't know. Maybe to protect this area because that house was up there and he didn't want anyone to see it. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just going to walk around to where the cliff area is. I just want to have a quick look. And then I'm going to mosey on out of here. This is basically Sandringham bog. Adjacent to other areas I went to on day one. Just a bucket left over there, plastic bucket. Don't know why. Anyway, the cliff area is up here. So I'm just approaching the cliff area. That tree there looks dangerous. That looks like it could come down at any time. And people walk through here. There was no sign to stop people walking down here. I'll go and check, but there wasn't. No public admittance, it says. There's barbed wire. Just the cliffs over there. You see those? Can you imagine someone falling down those? A large animal trying to get free, going through those very weak fences up there. I mean, that would snap under the weight of a cow. They just rip straight through those. They might see them as weak and try that. And then not realise and die. So it's not great, is it? And as you can see, the cows are left to roam around here, which is why they've got barbed wire everywhere. To me, that's far too easy. The cows go up there and around because they leave them free on the bog. So they can actually go up to that place I just was. They can climb up there and go past that fence that I showed you up there. It's not that they have to break free from that other area, because they do walk on the bog. I've seen them many times. So I could probably go and find evidence of that, because they rub themselves up against trees and stuff and leave fur everywhere, you know. So I'm just walking back this way. And yeah, there's no sign to stop you walking down there. So that tree there, I mean, that could fall on me because I'm having a look. It could fall on a cow. You see, they walk up over there. There's tracks all through there which the cows have made. Cows and bulls. Yeah. I mean, the general public know who walk here. They know that the cows are here because they've been here many times. So that cliff is an absolute disgrace, and this is part of the Sandringham estate, which they've left the management of it for this other company that I mentioned, a private middleman company who are supposed to manage this area. I'm not really sure what's going on there because that's very dangerous. I've just come from over there where the cliffs are, walked over here, lo and behold, a new sign, no public access beyond this point. A brand new sign. I've walked here for years. I'm not sure why they've put that sign there. But because of all of the illegal problems that are going on here, I feel obliged to walk up here on a very regular walk that I've made and check to see if there's any problems going on. So I have noticed around Sandringham many beautiful trees just being cut down, healthy trees just being cut down in random places. I don't like to see that, but there we go. You know, a natural woodland is nice, isn't it? So evidence of cows, evidence of them. That's a cow pat there. Sorry, I'm picking it up. Yes. So where that cliff is over there, they can walk up there and go right past that drop with that very flimsy fence. Do you see what I mean? Absolute disgrace. More evidence of cows on here. This is reasonably fresh. Fecal matter, should we call it? I don't find this very funny. I don't find it appropriate to make jokes about this. And this is the route that the cows walk. I've seen them walking. You can. There's like a semi-path here, and obviously they walk here because I've just walked past cow dung. So I am walking back to a place I want to do the final thing for today. I did want to do more, but I don't think the light's going to hold. So now this here, the whole of Dersingham Bog used to be a quarry, and these are like the inlets, and then you've got mounds. Now this happened within my lifetime, the last 20 years. This place was resculpted. All the heather was planted here, trees were brought in, and now you have the landscape that you see before you. So yeah, it is rather stunning. All this heather is beautiful, and yeah, I remember travelling in cars past the entranceway to the quarry, looking in and seeing this great big piles of sand or whatever it was. I presume a lot of it's sand here. It's like a grey sand underneath the surface here. You have these great big protrusions here. This is one, and then just over there there's another one, and then you've got the quarry basin, which is that area down there. So this area here is one of the mounds in the quarry. Then there's a dip there where vehicles probably used to go through to collect material. Just on the other side there's another mound, and as you walk through here you undulate, you go up and down these mounds, these quarry mounds, and then over the other side there's a great big basin, which was the basin in the quarry basin. You used to look through there and see these great big vehicles moving around, you know, moving large amounts of material around, ready for loading vehicles and things. So, you know, within my lifetime this quarry was here. I remember driving past it. You know, it's obviously a quarry landscape. Anybody could see that. And all this heather was planted here to create heathland, and a lot of these trees were brought in and placed, or, you know, brought in on lorries and placed. Now they moved a lot of trees over from Sandringham, you know, so that was an interesting one, I would imagine, you know. Well, it definitely was. I'm trying not to walk on this heather. I don't want to damage it. See, that's a gate back up onto the next undulating place. I might walk up this one, and I'll completely fresh cow dung there, completely fresh. So yeah, and like I said, just go over that way and there's a cliff with a very flimsy fence in front. I haven't ever seen any further signs to prevent me walking along this old walk that I've walked many times. You can, I've just walked up there. You can come off the main track and walk up here. There's no signs to say I shouldn't. And I wouldn't expect there to be, because I've walked here for years. The cows walk through here, and they're very big and very, very big and very heavy, So I'm back up on top of another one of these outcrops of material. I'm just going to walk around and I'm going to show you the scenery, a little bit of the scenery, because it is beautiful, very beautiful. My girlfriend and I have walked here and remarked how absolutely stunning it was here. Absolutely gorgeous, super stunningly beautiful. Some might say unbelievably so. So the scenery is nice. The camera doesn't do it justice, but it's nice. Over in the distance there, I can see cows. I won't use the word cattle because I don't like it. See that black mark in the distance? That's a cow. There's more than one. There's 3 over there. So just to show, there are bovines on here, loose, capable of walking straight up to where that cliff is and falling through that barbed wire. Now I've seen younger bovines on here as well, ones that wouldn't even necessarily understand. I mean, the older ones might not understand, but just to prove to you, I just wanted to get a little bit closer to show you. Just to completely prove what I'm saying is true. Because these cows could be taken away. I mean, I've already got enough evidence to show this to you, but I just want to show this to you directly. Hello. Hello. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Hello. Hello. How are you? So this is more of the quarry. This is another outcropping here, the ex-quarry, now Dersingham Bog. Now, if you watch the series, is it called The Queen? The dramatisation of her life, which is, I think the royal family, someone said to me, the royal family disowned it and said it was for fiction. Now, the opening scene, episode 1, season 1, is on Dersingham Bog. Members of the royal family, I believe, on a boat, on the lakes, on the bog, with guns, shooting ducks, or trying to shoot ducks. Now this scene, I think it was her father, the Queen's father, Queen Elizabeth's father, in a boat. Or it was from that period. Now, that's a long time ago, when the Queen was young. And I mean, that just shows you how fictional the show was. The first scene is a complete fiction, because like I said, this was a quarry when I was young, and I'm only in my early 40s. So, you know, when I was a teenager, late teens, this was still a quarry. So now there used to be, there were rhododendrons here as well, the Queen's pride and joy. They were chopped down. Look, there's more devastation here, and you can see where the rhododendrons are growing back up, because they won't give up. You chop them off with your big machines and they'll grow back up again. But they were beautiful semi-mature ones here. I would imagine the Queen planted so many of them because she wanted to see them mature like the ones that inspired her. You know, those beautiful ones in that part of the forest near Dersingham. So yeah, it's kind of strange that these aren't new plants they've just put in. There used to be loads of them here. You couldn't see this. There's a little pond here. You couldn't see it because of all of the rhododendrons. They've chopped them back here. You can see where they previously were. You see that there? They've been cut right back. But in the distance I can hear shooting going on over in that direction. You've got Wolferton over there. I'm going in that direction as long as the light doesn't fail, to take a little bit more footage. So yeah, for the Queen, who was a vegetarian, as you can imagine, she didn't like shooting. Now in that programme, the dramatisation of her life, there was a scene when she was younger. I'm not sure how old she was. She was like in her 20s or something. And she was being shown how to shoot a gun. Now I don't know why whoever made that programme would want to fictionalise her life in a way which would kind of promote that kind of thing, the violence and stuff like that against other species. Because the Queen, like I said, is an animal lover. I consider our species to be animals too, and I consider all species to be people. And like I said, she was a vegetarian. So having shooting going on the royal estate that she privately owns, and having all these other people involved, private companies coming in and running things, and all this land being that used to be completely public access, having the gates locked, signs put up, and shooting going on, this wouldn't go down well with the Queen. This only started happening towards the end of her life. So, you know. And why would she want cattle to graze here? The cattle are probably being slaughtered, you know. I mean, she might like them to live here if they want to, you know, and treat them nicely. She certainly wouldn't like that fence the way it is, with their lives being put at risk, you know. I just have to say, I love these. I think there's a couple of these. I love these little tracks where you can see all the stratigraphical layers of the material here. It's beautiful. Very, very beautiful. There's one, I don't know if it's this one or another one, either here or further that way, where one day I came down here and a large animal, I assume it was a horse because the cows wouldn't do it because it looked like it was dangerous to do, had trampled all along the edge of it and smashed it all. You know, it's probably worth going and having a look at the other one to see along one edge, because you could see all these layers and it's really stunning. But somebody had, I think, because horses come through here, I've seen horse tracks, I think someone came through here with a horse and ran it up the bank intentionally to damage the beautiful, you know, stratigraphical layers, like I said, that show you all those different layers. It's just wanton destruction. I don't know why that would be permissible. So, yeah, I mean, it's not permissible, but you know what I mean, why someone would want to do that? Absolute, I mean, I was, you know, I was set back by it. I was like, whoa, why has someone done that? You know. I know in the States there's a large city called Denver. Is it Colorado? I think it is. I apologise if that's incorrect, but it is definitely a very large settlement, conurbation called Denver. Well, in England, which I presume is a namesake, just down the road from Hilgay and down a market is a small village called Denver, which I presume is a namesake of the large Denver. Now that sign on that bench says John Denver, and the first house I ever lived in was a small cottage down near Roydon Common in Denver. So it kind of makes sense. He was an environmentalist, John Denver. I don't know anything about him, I haven't even looked him up. I just literally saw the sign and thought, So now all of the things that have been going on here, the trees being cut down, the devastation of natural habitat, you know, the injury to mammals and insects and stuff, and the lack of safety for those bovines, I don't think John Denver would have approved. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'd like to dedicate this film to him and his memory. I hope his family, his relations that are still alive, don't mind me doing that, because it just seems to make sense. It all came together there, and I would like to show you something. I might have to do it in the dark when I get back to Roydon Common, something that's irking me. That might just seal this day off. I do have another day in Sandringham, so I'm going to be here again, but dedicating this to John Denver halfway through the movie, well, towards the end of the second part of this movie. Maybe that's okay. I hope it's okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Dedicate it to the memory of John Denver. And I'd like to find out more about him now. That's piqued my interest. I presume he was local as well, potentially, because his name, you see. Because his namesake was Denver as well. So yeah. I've just come from there. This gate over here used to be open. You could walk straight in there. It's nice in there. Oh, I don't know what's going on. It's not focusing. Oh, there we are. So another lock. Another gate in a state where, if it was just painted regularly, this wouldn't have happened. You know? With all the money that's being made here, why wasn't it? You know? Well, it's not even, it's kind of. I'm not sure, I can't remember whether I filmed this the other day. I think I did film a bit of this area. I think I may have got this bit. But I just want to make a comment and just film it again quickly. So, this is another place where they've just run their machines over and destroyed all the rhododendrons. And they're all growing back up, you see the little shoots. The Queen's pride and joy. I assume she wanted mature rhododendrons, like those ones, over during that, in that place near Sandringham, in the forest there. So basically the estate have willfully gone against her wishes and her legacy by intentionally chopping down all the mature rhododendrons. I don't know how they would justify that. You could say they're a pest, they spread. Well, she planted them. They didn't just crop up here on their own. They were planted. Do you see what I mean? Because of what I said. I have seen the odd rhododendron reasonably mature in the forest. But on this scale, so, and they grow quite quickly, rhododendrons. As you can see, these were cut back last year, and look how tall they are now. So, anyway, why they would want to cut them all back, I really don't understand. Why they'd want to go against the wishes of the Queen. So I'm just walking past the old rectory, Wolferton, just to show you where the path used to go. There's a great big area over there which was behind a place which I don't know, I'll tell you what it's called in a minute. We'll walk past and just have a quick look. But there used to be a path that just went through here, a lovely path that went off into the forest over there, and it's been just willfully done away with, you know. So all that land behind there was all open access to the public, but now there's loads of paddocks on there, and it says over there the Royal Studs, Friar Marcus Limited, Friar Marcus Yard it says.
So I've just come through the bushes adjacent to the road. There's that stud place over there, place for trapping horses. That land going that way. So I'm in the forest here. I just went through a hole in the bush. I have knowledge of certain things that were going on in here because I've walked in here before. Now I know these routes quite well. I've walked here many times back in the day, before they put the private signs up. This all used to be places where the Queen wanted you to walk. There was a visitor centre over there, which is now gone. They've been cutting down a lot of trees in here since they put the private sign up on the gate over there. But you can just walk through the bushes there, so it's not like you can't get through here. So where the fences were put to say that the weed spraying was going on, that's at the northern end of this section here, and on here you find shooting chairs very close to the road. This is a wonderful open area in the forest, and there's a lovely little lake in the middle, little pond type thing, and it's just beautiful here. I've taken some pictures of the lake, I'll show you in a little while. I just wanted to show you the debris that I found here.
So I found evidence of clay pigeon debris here, lots of it, everywhere. It's all across this whole area. Now this is, poisoning this environment here, and then, there's tons of it. It should all be cleared up, shouldn't it? I mean, I don't think the Queen, because the Queen was a vegetarian and she didn't like, animals dying, I imagine she doesn't like shooting clay pigeons as well. So, evidence of shooting going on here for sport. Just so you can see where I am. This is the landscape. Tons of it all over the place. So this is a shooting frame. Evidence of high-powered guns being used here. The kind of guns where you need to go to a special rifle range to do this. The target is way over there. Way over there. It's a long way away. You can't shoot a shotgun from that distance unless you're using illegal bullets, like bullet cartridges. So I'm just walking over here. The distance between the frame and the target shows you that they're using high-power rifles here, which you're not allowed to practice here with that. It's against the law. You'd have to go to a military shooting range to practice with guns like that, So it's a long way away. I'm still walking. I mean, it'd be no use using a shotgun loaded with legal shot from that distance. You see how far away that shooting frame is? Look, I'm still miles away from it. Look at that. And there's a target here with bullet holes in it, quite large bullet holes. There's been a fresh wood pin put on there, but Blimey, look at that. Look how that's been absolutely smashed by high power rifles. Oh my word.
The bullet holes in this were very large. I can't imagine that. They must have been using quite large bullets to put these holes in this target. Either a high powered rifle or, you know, shotgun cartridges with large ball bearings in them, which are illegal in this country, or maybe a combination of both. I'd like to see this target forensically examined, you know, to see exactly what was going on, and you know, scour the land behind it to see if we can find any bullets. I just took a picture there for a bit of scale. My finger's next to those large bullet holes there. That's a high powered rifle making those bullet holes there, no question. And like I said, you can't practice with guns like that outside of a military shooting range in this country. If you apply for a license for a large rifle like that, you have to go to the correct shooting range to shoot a gun like that, and you're not allowed to practice with them anywhere else.
So, last time I came here, I saw a skip with beer cans in it. Maybe they've been a bit more sensible now and clearing their beer away before, you know, anyone notices they're doing that. But I just wanted to mention it and just situate these. You've got these trees here, so I didn't want it to be, you know.
More evidence of shooting going on here. This trailer is basically a shooting frame as well. People go up on top there and shoot guns off the top, off that platform. Underneath I found clay pigeons, plastic clay pigeons, another shooting tower there, and there's debris, there's clay pigeon debris, plastic clay pigeon debris just spread across the landscape here, poisoning the ground. Now, when you shoot clay pigeons, if it's, you know, possible to do it properly and legally, you're supposed to spread, and anything like this that makes a mess in natural environments, you have to spread sheets out. It's a legal requirement that you spread sheets out across the floor to catch any debris that is created by any activity which may leave this sort of littering across the landscape. This shows you that the people who are operating on the estate have no regard for health and safety, have no regard for the environment, and no regard for the rules and the law. I mean, the evidence of high power rifles being used here and other evidence I've found, I'll show you where I found clay pigeons very close to the edge of the forest, so they've been shooting towards the forest, and in a position where they would been shooting towards the road itself, which is just beyond the bushes. It's the only explanation for where the debris was. So this is quite scary. There's just people shooting guns dangerously very close to where the public are. I just wanted to show you how these men operate here by showing you all the shotgun shells just discarded on the ground and left. This just shows you that they don't have no regard for anything other than just shooting their guns. All this debris should be cleared up. Even the shotgun cartridges must be cleared up straight away. This is a legal requirement. You can't leave plastics littering the natural environments. But look at all of these clay pigeons as well. Plastic clay pigeons poisoning the ground. More information about the shooting range to follow in part 3. So this is the entrance gate to Roydon Common. I did mention Roydon Common earlier. It's very dark, so I can't really see very well here. This gate looks like it's been hit by a car. But anyway, so I'm cycling and I've come through here because I don't have to go on the road. I don't have to go through Denver and around the corner. I can just come through here, you see. That's the A10 there. This is a route that loads of people take through onto the A10 next to Roydon Common. It's very convenient for a cyclist to come down here and then go onto the A10. People walk here as well. So we've got barriers put here to reduce footfall through here, I presume. Norfolk County Council, I assume they are. Norfolk County Council have put them here to intentionally reduce numbers coming through here. Now these have been open, someone's come through here, and I've come through here and they've been thrown to the sides because people do keep using this route. They have a right to. There's a common there, common land. It's access point to the common land. Are they trying to reduce footfall through here so that they can then privatise this road? Is what I'm concerned about. I'm thinking, are they trying to privatise the road? I know you can't see it, but it goes that way. You know, to privatise that road, I've seen so much of this privatisation going on. Is this like a numbers game to try and justify? Because if you reduce people coming through there, there's an argument to say that the road could just be a private road. It can't be, because it's not a private place, you know. It's actually a public access road. And obviously people walk through here and cycle through here rather than going on the road. And there's an access point there to the common. With all what's going on, it makes me suspicious. Are they trying to take Wing Common away? Now, the first house I ever lived in was down this road. So I'm not happy about this. The possibility that that's what's going on. Norfolk County Council trying to reduce numbers coming through here. What's going on? I'm not sure.
Right.